Hello everyone, Rich Cooke here, Chair of West Mids Federation. Just wanted to give you an update on what we've been up to over the last few weeks on your behalf. But first, just wanted to touch on the revelations that have come out over the last 24 hours or so regarding one of our own officers who's now going through the courts. And those details that have come out in the media been pretty uncomfortable reading. Very serious crimes, and I personally have been appalled, and I know a lot of colleagues feel the same way. What I want to say is that we can be proud of ourselves as police officers, that we will stay true to our mission, that we'll investigate crime without fear or favour. The public can have absolute confidence in us that we will do that in all cases, regardless of who the offender might be or the suspect might be. We will pursue them and we will bring them to justice no matter what. And that, at the end of the day, is what we're here to do. Now, moving on. We've been working with the force on the approach to assaults on police officers, because to be fair, on too many occasions, offenders who assault officers in uniform, who spit on them, who abuse them, who threaten them with knives, they're not getting charged. Too often they're being let off, or they were being let off with cautions. And I'm trying to put a stop to that. And don't get me wrong, it's a complex matter. There may be the odd case where a charge isn't the appropriate outcome. I'm yet to find one where I did think a non-charge option was the appropriate way forward, I must admit. So we want the force to adopt an approach of near 100% charging for assaults on officers, and for that matter, all emergency workers. The government's just sent a powerful message to the CPS and to police decision makers, for that matter, by passing the Assaults on Emergency Workers Bill. That's just awaiting royal assent now. That increases the sentence for assault PC to 12 months in Crown Court. That's not to say other assaults can't attract more serious sentences, but the basic offence, it now has to be seen in a very serious light, as it always should have been. We've also produced something called the 10-point plan, which gives police supervisors, a checklist of things to make sure the welfare of officers who find themselves in that unfortunate circumstance is upheld, and that we make sure we're doing everything possible to support colleagues who've been attacked in that way. Lastly, just wanted to talk about the response to the pay award. The pay award amounts to 0.85% in our pocket. That following a real terms pay cut since 2010 of 18%. Really significant reduction in the value of our pay over the last few years, when at the same time we've lost so many colleagues that the burden on individuals within the force is greater than ever. Now we're still trying really hard. We're still working our butts off to try and ensure that no stone is unturned in the pursuit of crime. But inevitably, when we're so threadbare, we can't do everything. And our Chief Constable actually said in response to this that, in some regards, we can't do everything. We have to prioritise. We have to focus on the most serious matters that are hurting the public. And that's just a statement of fact. None of us is happy about that. Far from it. But we can only do so much with what we've got. And our new chairman, John Apter, has been very clear about that. Now, I've met John a couple of times. I've had discussions with him, and I know he's very up for the job. And he knows that members now, colleagues, want some action. They want the Federation to lead and to really start making inroads into this government. Now, there's no silver bullet. We occupy a special status in that we hold a public office. We can't go on strike. We haven't got employment rights. And there's a lot of people who are saying, well, and quite rightly so, if we're going to be treated like employees, then we need industrial rights. That's only fair. That's a powerful argument, no doubt about it. Personally, I don't want that. I don't want to be an employee. I like the special status that police officers have historically held. But I also acknowledge that can't carry on if we continue to be treated as we have been, over pay, over pensions. And I've talked to John Apter about the pension challenge, which I still support. I think the pension challenge is an example of where the Federation has been far too risk averse in the past. And for something as massive as your pension, we should be willing to take risks to challenge the government. And that's why I took up the pension challenge, and that's going through the courts at the moment. There'll be new rulings on that in November time, I believe. And if those rulings go in our favour, that's the point where the Federation, I think, really needs to review its position and get on board. So, what I want to ask for is your ideas, your comments, your feedback. As I say, we're reviewing our comms strategy. We're doing lots of things to try and come up with new ways that we can put our case more powerfully to the public and to the politicians and decision makers that matter. I was astonished to find out that as a country, we spend less on the police budget than we do on overseas aid. Now, I'll make no comment about overseas aid. Overseas aid may well be a very good thing to do. I think in many cases it is. But do people really think that it's a good idea that we spend less on our police service? And I don't think the public are always aware of that. So anyway, I've gone on probably a bit too long. Thanks for listening. And as I say, any ideas, please get in touch. Thanks very much. And watch this space. Hopefully in the autumn, we'll be coming out with a new strategy. Thank you.